What's up, everybody? It's your boy Joshua Edwards, live from Brooklyn, New York. This is Panthers Pride Television. I do want to go ahead and give you a heads up. If you hear some background noise, yes, that's my daughter. She's eating dinner, going back and forth. So she might be in the camera shot, she might not. But man, I love my daughter. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, some damning words are coming out of Carolina. I really wouldn't call it damning words, but Dave Canales provides a possible plan for the 2025 NFL Draft. Now, you guys know I've been talking about Will Johnson. I've been talking about Tech McMillan, a Mason Graham here and there, obviously a Jalen Walker and a Mikael Williams. But what he said makes me to believe, or can lead me to believe, that we're going defense. And here was his exact quote when talking with Kay Adams, NFL personality host on NFL Network. So, talking about his plans of drafting offense in the 2025 NFL Draft. We had some good conversations about offensive playmakers. We have to address defense first. We're 32nd in the NFL on defense. That's something where our focus has gone to. Now, there's only 32 teams in the National Football League. You were dead last this season. We were awful. We had a lot of games where we were in shootouts of late. We had guys on the field I've never even heard of. You got guys like Shy Tuttle not producing. Obviously, a Jordan Fuller, Xavier Woods was okay for us. But you had a lot of problems in the secondary, the linebacker core, and obviously the defensive line. So what do these words lead me to believe? These words lead me to believe that we're probably going to be going defense heavy within really the first two rounds. We might get a safety in the second round, guy to Penn State. We're definitely going pass rusher with the 8th overall pick. I mean, I think that's kind of sold up and locked up for me. But what that says to me is he understands how bad we were on defense. I've been talking about how we've given up 534 total points, the worst in NFL history. And he's just basically highlighting that. We know where the issue is. I understand Bryce Young needs another number one receiver. But Xavier Legette was taken in the first round last year. I mean, he's got to produce at some point. And I really hope he does produce, especially for where you drafted him. You traded up to go get him, and you might see a situation where we mortgage our fourth rounders. I'll talk about that just a little bit later. But when you got a guy like a Xavier Legette that you're expecting to produce, this is his time to produce. So when I talk about Will Johnson or Mason Graham or Jalen Walker, understand what I'm saying. I understand, and you should understand, that defense is the issue. The worst statistically in NFL history. That's terrible. That doesn't happen too many times, especially at the Carolinas like that. I don't think that's ever happened since, I don't know, maybe I've been alive. Like, we were that bad last year. So, and the numbers speak for themselves. But, I mean, even with that being said, I think just talking first overall pick, I think Jalen Walker is starting to emerge as the guy. Now, this is a guy that I've been talking about for quite some time. When you look at the numbers speak for themselves. He's a guy that can play inside linebacker, and obviously he can rush the passer. He reminds me a lot of Micah Parsons. Now, Micah Parsons, coming out of college football, played inside linebacker. He blitzed often, and then he would line up on the defensive line, and obviously he's a mega superstar on the D-line currently speaking. But Jalen Walker has shades of that. 6.5 sacks this past season, 2 fumble recoveries, 11 tackles for loss, 60 total tackles, and 14 games played. Now, when you compare him to his counterpart, Mikael Williams, I mean, this is a guy, he could also be the 8th overall selection. I don't like Mikael Williams. I like Jalen Walker better. I think when you just look at the value of where Jalen Walker could be, he could be an inside linebacker. He could be an edge rusher. Mikael Williams only had 5 sacks. Hasn't really been that good his entire career. But when you just look at Jalen Walker, the tape pops. The eye in the sky does not lie. He's a guy that's going to produce heavy. So when you look at just the comparison between him and Mikael Williams, I think it's just becoming more and more evident that one of these guys are going to go with the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers are going to be either selecting Mikael Williams or Jalen Walker with the first and 8th overall pick. So don't be surprised. We know that the Georgia Bulldogs have been producing guys for quite some time. Jordan Davis, obviously, Jalen Carter is a phenomenal guy. And they're just championship after championship after championship. And he's a guy that is raved about amongst his teammates. Dave Canales even went as far as saying he talked to some Georgia guys about Jalen Walker, and all they rave about is how he brings the team together, the type of energy he provides. If he's that guy, I don't care about the defensive back because he's going to create enough havoc. We got a Derek Brown. Now you need another edge rusher that's really going to take the defense over top. So, Jalen Walker, I want to see you in preseason games. I want to see you drafted to the Carolina Panthers. And I think that you are, currently speaking, the guy for the organization. So, between Jalen Walker, Mikael Williams, we don't know, but I think all the shades are pointing to Jalen Walker, currently speaking. Now, we all know that trades go down during the NFL draft. Last year, we traded up into the first round to get Xavier Legette. Keon Coleman was there. We didn't want Keon Coleman in the second round. We said, man, damn that. Let's go back up and get a Xavier Legette. How many trades should we make on draft day? I definitely think the second day, where it's round 2 and round 3, we got to find a way to mortgage our 4th rounders to get an extra 2nd rounder, to get an extra 3rd rounder, because there is a lot of talent. You've heard Adam Schefter talk about the guy that you select at 10. It could be the same guy that you select at 36th overall. Like, that is just how deeply talented this draft is. I think, obviously, the draft is heavy defensive linemen, heavy cornerbacks and defensive backs, but really more so defensive linemen. So I look forward to seeing the moves that we're going to make. I think we should at least make 2 trades to go get an extra 2nd rounder and go get an extra 3rd rounder, because if you believe that there's enough talent, if you believe you could go get another quality guy in the 2nd round, a 4th rounder, you got to go up there and make the moves. Dan Morgan, you were selected to be GM for a reason. You told us that you was not finished. So I don't want to just see it with the 8th overall pick. I just don't want to see it with the 46th overall pick. I want to see it moving up in the 30s, in the 38s, in the early 40s. I want to see you mortgage those 4th rounders to go get an extra 2nd or a 3rd rounder. And once again, Panthers Pride Television. Janae, you want to come here and say something? Come on, baby. Come on, hurry up. Make it quick. I'm just going to stall just a little bit. She's not coming. But like I said, Panthers Pride Television, we out, baby.